Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles popped out with her new boyfriend, professional football player Jonathan Owens, everyone was happy for her. Shortly thereafter, more information about their relationship hit the internet, leaving many people wondering if Jonathan is truly the right fit for her. Today, we'll be diving deep into their romance and reveal the real reason people think this relationship is doomed. But before we get into it, don't forget to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of Applewood smoked bacon jerky, freeze-dried goodies, and butter toffee peanuts. Simone dedicated her life to gymnastics, so by her 20th birthday on March 14, 2017, she still hadn't been in a real relationship. She told Entertainment Tonight, "I have never had a boyfriend in my life. At 20 years old, I feel like you should have gone through those things and gone on dates. I have been on maybe one proper date." When asked how the date went, Simone said she thought it went okay, and it ended with a kiss. We're unsure of the mystery man's identity, but we do know that in the summer of 2017, her grandmother hired a guy named Stacey Irvin to be her personal trainer. Stacey was also an amateur gymnast at the time. Simone eventually met Stacey. They hit it off and started dating. She told People magazine that because of their busy careers, they were realistic about how much time they could devote to each other. She added, "We already know in each other's lives we don't come first, and that's okay with the both of us. So we do what we need to do, and then we come together. It's fine." In December 2019, Simone was invited to lead her home team, the Houston Texans, out of the tunnel during one of their games. She later posed for a photo on the field, and there was a guy standing behind her. They didn't pay each other any mind and went their separate ways. Things were going great with Simone and Stacey up until the start of the pandemic. Simone confirmed that after almost 3 years of dating, they had called it quits in March 2020. She expressed how difficult it was to be with someone for so long and then to watch it all fall apart. However, she said their breakup was for the best.
It always is, girl. It always is. Let them ninjas go.
The same month she and Stacey broke up, her friend encouraged her to sign up for an invite-only dating app called Raya.
So let me get this right. She was in a relationship for 3 years, and the same month they broke up, she hopped on a dating site. That's my kind of girl, all right. Auntie always say the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody else. Okay.
She came across a guy's profile and was immediately interested, so she swiped on him.
Okay, she got a type.
The guy saw the interaction, looked at her profile, and saw that Simone was a gymnast. However, he said he didn't recognize her. He swiped back to show he was interested. Then he went to the gym. When he picked up his phone a little while later, he saw that Simone had gone on his Instagram and liked a bunch of his photos.
What a thirsty self, girl. Don't let him know. Don't let him know, girl. The chase. Remember the chase?
He told the Pivot podcast that he decided he still wanted to wait a bit before responding. He hopped in the shower, and when he was done, he noticed Simone had already messaged him on the app.
Yeah, you see how he waited? You see how he waited? Now, the roles have switched. He has become the chased, and she has become the chaser. Wrong. Backwards from the beginning.
Simone told the Wall Street Journal, "I saw him and I was like, oh, he's pretty cute. So I said hi. And then I saw that he was in the Houston area, so we started chatting a little bit." The guy turned out to be St. Louis, Missouri native Jonathan Owens. Jonathan went undrafted and was first signed by the Arizona Cardinals as a college free agent in April 2018 and played in the safety position. Less than a year later, he was waived by the Cardinals and signed to the Houston Texans practice squad. He was promoted to the team's active roster and then waived 2 days later. He stayed on the Texans practice squad for 6 weeks until he was called up again in January 2020.
In other words, he can't keep a job. That's what you're trying to say. Was on the bench. She was a bench warmer. That's what I'm hearing.
And guess what? Jonathan was also the same guy who was standing in the background of Simone's picture that she took at the Texans stadium back in 2019. Jonathan told the Pivot podcast that if Simone hadn't messaged him first, he probably would have forgotten about her and moved on with his life. When the host told him he was the prize in the relationship, Jonathan didn't disagree.
So you was really the catch in...
I always say we the men the catch, man. I always say we the catch, man.
Jonathan has adamantly told multiple media outlets, including Texas Monthly Magazine, that he didn't know who Simone was before they met. He said he was too busy in college and was in NFL training camp, so he didn't have time to keep up with everything that was going on in gymnastics.
I didn't know who she was at the time. I promise you.
Now, who the don't recognize the most decorated gymnast in the world, Craig? in the world, Craig. Simone Biles is one of the greatest gymnasts of all time. Everybody know who Simone Biles is. Guess who we don't know? Jonathan Owens. What team does he play on? What position does he play? Oh, he don't play. We know she ain't but 3 feet tall, but we know you saw her ass. You saw her name and her picture on that Jumbotron in the stadium. And a year later, she in your DM and you talking about you don't know who the hell she was. Honey, go tell that lie to somebody else.
Online users called Cap. They dug through Jonathan's Twitter account and found old tweets from 2012 where he was watching gymnastics and making comments about fellow gymnast Gabby Douglas. So fans put 2 and 2 together. If he knew who Gabby was, then he definitely knew who Simone was. In other words, they called him a big fat liar.
Boom. I knew his ass was lying. You ain't gonna pull the wool over auntie eyes.
But anyway, after exchanging messages for a few days, Simone made the 45-minute drive to Jonathan's place in Houston.
God damn. Oh, she trying to raise my blood pressure, ain't she? Ain't she? How many times I gotta tell you to stop chasing these damn men? How you supposed to know if a man is interested if you running up behind his ass all the time, pursuing him and doing all the heavy lifting? Wasting your damn gas on a nigga that can't keep a job.
From there, they kept in contact and continued chatting and flirting on FaceTime for a couple of weeks. During one of their FaceTime sessions, Simone's sister grabbed the phone and invited Jonathan to join them on a trip to a lake house. Jonathan agreed to go and brought his English bulldog to play with Simone's French bulldog. After that, Jonathan was invited to the Biles family's Sunday dinners. He told the Pivot podcast that initially he was afraid to commit because it was his 3rd year in the league, and he felt it was too early for him to be locked down. But because they hit it off so quickly, he decided to make things official.
See, there go that nuance again. There go that nuance. If you listen to what people say in between what they say, you'll get the truth. He told the podcast he was only in his 3rd year and it's too early for him to settle down. In other words, what he was trying to say is, I might make it big and I might be able to, trap me somebody better than Simone. That's what he's trying to say, because Simone ain't his type.
His entire interview with the Pivot podcast bothered a lot of people. Not only did it come across as if Simone was chasing him at the start of their relationship, but Jonathan really didn't seem that into her. Online users begged Simone to remember that she was the prize and the star in their relationship, and they urged her to drop his ass. She later appeared on the Call Her Daddy podcast and said that she found the outrage comments hilarious at first, but then she finally broke down because hearing people talk about Jonathan in such a negative way hurt her feelings. They went Instagram official a few months after meeting. Jonathan told Texas Monthly magazine that the pandemic played a vital role in the foundation of their relationship. Because the world had slowed down and there wasn't much to do, they had a lot of time to get to know each other. He also described their relationship as a match made in heaven and stated, "There's no better person for me. She loves me. She's so affectionate. I just love that."
But do you love her? It sounded like you just like the way she makes you feel. But is the feeling mutual, Ninja? What do you do for her?
While chatting with the Today Show, Jonathan said he knew their relationship was special by the way his dog Zeus reacted to her.
What? Dogs like every damn body. And you steady talking about how the dog felt around her, how she make you feel, but nigga, we ain't heard yet how you feel about Simone. I'm ready for some gushy. Some romantic talk, something waxing romantic. I ain't heard shit yet about how much you love Simone, how you feel about her. I'll wait.
As for Simone, well, she told the Today Show that their personalities matched up and they had the same sense of humor. She also loved the fact that they're both athletes, so they understand each other. They started spending more and more time together, and they got so close that Simone said they decided to move in together. In 2021, they celebrated their first anniversary as a couple. However, they couldn't celebrate together since Simone was competing for Team USA at the Olympics in Tokyo. As for Jonathan, well, he got waived by the Houston Texans again in August 2021 and re-signed to the practice squad. Months later, in December 2021, he signed a 2-year deal for $1.1 million. But by January 2022, he was placed on the injured reserve after he dislocated his wrist. Although things weren't going well in his professional career, his relationship was still on the right track. They got engaged on Valentine's Day 2022. In March 2023, they started building a house together in Texas. And in April 2023, they got married in a private ceremony. 1 month later, they had a destination wedding in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. They had to cut their honeymoon short because Jonathan got a call from the Green Bay Packers to sign a 1-year contract.
Thank you, Jesus.
Simone joined him in Wisconsin so he could sign the paperwork. However, after just one season, Jonathan left Green Bay and signed a 2-year deal with the Chicago Bears. Online users reminded him of his irrelevance by omitting his name from headlines and simply referring to him as Simone Biles' husband.
They messy as hell.
When people think about Jonathan, they always refer back to his damaging interview with the Pivot podcast, where he made Simone look like a little thirst bucket. Social media users have continued to leave distasteful comments about him on Simone's profile, and Homegirl is sick of it. After easily winning a U.S. Classic in May 2024, she took to her Instagram to write, "Y'all are blatantly being disrespectful to my relationship and my husband, so I'm going to go ahead and say this one time. Respectfully, off. If you keep commenting or tweeting at me, I'm just going to block you. Simple as that."
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You see that same energy you coming at us with? You need to use that same energy to go to him and say, listen, you had a fucked up interview? Go back and fix that shit. We ain't heard another statement from this man. He need to make another statement and fix what the fuck he said. And he needs to be the one to calm the storm, not you. Ain't nothing worse than a man who disparages a woman in an interview and gets a kickback from it, complains about it, because I bet that's what he did. They talking about me in the comments. And then here she come, Captain Save-A-Ho, to get him out of the trouble he caused in the first place.
As of this video, Simone and Jonathan are going strong with their long-distance marriage, and they appear to be happier than ever. On July 15, 2024, it was announced that Jonathan would skip NFL training camp to support Simone at the Olympics. One online user wrote, "He knows who's paying the bills. Go on ahead and support the breadwinner, Jonathan."
Y'all messy as hell. Simone gonna bite y'all ankles. You keep talking about her man.
And with that, we wish Simone and Jonathan nothing but the best.
Let this be a lesson to y'all to never marry anybody who has less education than you, less money than you, or less notoriety than you, unless they are self-actualized human beings and have gone through therapy, especially if they are a man, because men have an issue with marrying women who are, better than them. They got an issue with that. They got an issue with that because their ego takes a hit. Even though it's supposed to be a partnership, even though the woman ain't thinking nothing about that, she just love who she love, the man's ego takes a hit. And what he will do is he will try to downplay her accomplishments. He will try to downplay her education. He will try to downplay how much money she has so that he can feel better about himself. He will constantly find ways to undermine her in the public eye because she's a public figure. Give her flowers, Jonathan. Get in position. Get into position. But you're going to have to fix your philosophy about marriage. You're going to have to get that ego in check. Simone, listen to Auntie. Listen to Auntie. Okay. Value yourself more than what you're doing.